Hello everyone. Welcome to this video presented to you by the Global Center for Environment and Energy at Ahmedabad University. Today we are truly honored and privileged to have with us Dr. Youba Sokona, who's been the former Vice Chair at the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Welcome, Dr. Sokona. So Dr. Sokona, I'd like to begin by asking you, what are some of the new challenges that countries of the global south are facing or are likely to face in the near future?
Thank you. Thank you for having this conversation with me here in Ahmedabad, where I was dreaming to visit many years back because I had connection with Professor Sokona and then with Minan. And it's a great pleasure and then to be at Ahmedabad University. The Global South is facing a number of many challenges related to climate and development because we cannot separate in the context of the Global South climate and development. And actually, it's very difficult and then to try to get a clear understanding of the narrative of the Global South, because the narrative through which we are working, we start working on climate for the past more than 30 years, is a narrative that has been put in place by the North, the global North. Sure. Because if you go back to the first IPCC report, it was the first assessment report that was only on climate science and economy. But there were no idea, no element related to development aspect. There were no idea, no element related to the equity aspect related to climate justice. Right. So the critical element actually is to have a clear narrative of the Global South on the climate issues, right, linking climate and development.
Right. So taking that forward, do you think multilateral fora such as the IPCC or the UNFCCC have been able to incorporate these into their policies? Like, we do understand that there's an urgent need in the climate space, but they also have to ensure climate justice. So have they been able to sort of balance the two properly?
I think it's up to the academic and then the scientists and the experts from the Global South, and to create a platform where they can clearly articulate it through a number of publications on issues that is pertinent, important for them. I remember in the early days of IPCC where we did not at all look at the issue of development, and then we raised the issue. Our colleagues from the North clearly indicated as IPCC is not producing research, not doing research, IPCC is assessing the literature. And then they told us clearly, if you want to bring any concern, any issue, you have to make publications in a peer-reviewed literature, journals. And it's important actually that the Global South get together because we have limited funding from our government. And we have limited resources. And then the Global North have the possibility in any issue that is important for them, they can put resources and then they can call for proposal, and then all the academics and scholars will access to those resources. We do not have that luxury in the South.
Right.
Hopefully, we can use the new communication systems as we experienced in the IPCC last report by having a virtual system through which we can operate, we can work. Right. You know, you will not expect a scientist from the North and then to take on board your concern. Our concern is what? Sure. Is have a better living condition for our people. Right. Is have to mainstream climate in our development agenda, make our development compatible with climate. And then the way, and then we see it, the way out in our perspective. And then this cannot be done by outsider. And then we have to start working on that. And then we, unfortunately, scholars from the South, the Global South, we get together through network created by the Global North. Right. And then we have to create our own system through which, and then we will make our own publication to fit the process.
Right. So in your opinion, which are the countries in the global south that have been able to take the agenda forward slightly? And specifically about India, do you see that there are parallels between the African countries and India? And have we together been able to voice our concerns in these multilateral fora?
Unfortunately, fortunately, in the political sphere, high-level policymakers are talking about South-South cooperation. Time to time, they have meetings. Unfortunately, academics, scholars from the South are not getting together and then to feed the political process. And countries like India and China has the potential and then to take a lead and to stimulate that. You will not expect a country like Mali, my country, to take a lead on that. India has more possibility, more capacity, more capability, and then to take a lead on that. You see, the Chinese will not do it because they look at China first. And India has the ability, the possibility, because in India is too large, and you will find part of Mali in India,
Right.
and part of emerging economy in India.
Right.
India has a huge potential, huge possibility. There is a number of universities, and then here I'm visiting India for a week, and I start with Chennai, and I was 2 days ago in Delhi. I'm here today, Ahmedabad. Tomorrow I will go to Bangalore and then to Mumbai, and then to have a conversation with different scientists and then policymakers on climate issues, and I can see an appetite and then to do that.
Right.
But somebody has to take a lead, and I hope maybe the center at the Ahmedabad University
Right.
will stimulate that process and then to bring the other on board. And in the African case, we have created the African Institute for Sustainable Energy and System Analysis as a virtual institute, because we don't want and then to be in a system where we depend on the donor funding. If you depend on the donor funding, we will work on their agenda and what to set our own agenda.
Right.
And then we hope that platform we may be able and then to connect with our colleagues in India and then to work on our own agenda so that that will feed our political processes.
Right, right, sir. And talking about the Indian government, like we've had some very ambitious targets under the Paris Agreement. We spearheaded the International Solar Alliance. But do you think we've been able to do a good job in achieving those targets that we've set for ourselves?
I think that you have a fantastic instrument that is the Global Solar Alliance, and then as one of the possibility and then to stimulate that kind of working on the agenda of the South. And but so far, I'm not seeing something very concrete, because I was supposed to participate in the Solar Alliance conference on the 5th and 6th August. Unfortunately, I was committed in Chennai, so I could not, with my friend Ajay Mathur, who is the Director General of Global Solar Alliance, and I hope that we'll be able to initiate something, and particularly on an issue of e-cooking. We already, with Ajay Mathur and then the Director of IEA, and then with Administrator of UNDP, and then we publish in Nature Energy on the e-cooking, and I hope that India can, and then the Global Solar Alliance can take a lead on that, and then to initiate something, and that will stimulate the possibility also of widening that, and then to bring in the whole energy access that is fundamental for the Global South rather than energy transition.
Right. So we at Ahmedabad University offer several courses in climate sciences. We also have a lot of PhD students that are pursuing a doctoral program in environmental sciences and sustainability. Our university also does a lot in terms of trying to ensure that the campus is sustainable. We've also, I think, been recognized by a reputed national agency. But what more do you think should a space like university do to instill, qualities of sustainability in the incoming students?
I think it's important and then to link with the similar institution in the global south, in Africa,
Right.
within Asia,
Right.
in Latin America, and then to see where the common issues, the common perspective may exist, and then to work on that, because we are dealing with a complex issue of climate, because no country, doesn't matter which power it has, no country, doesn't matter which resources it has, cannot handle alone the climate issues. And then we need to work together.
Right.
In a solidarity, in a perspective. As I indicated, there is part of Mali in India,
Right.
and then there is part of also Brazil in India. There is a part of China in India, and then we can look at those perspectives, and through that angle, it might be possible, and then to create a kind of long-term program so that we can feed and then the interaction between the government in India and Africa, and India and Latin America, and India within the Asian context.
Right. Okay, so thank you so much for speaking to us. That was indeed extremely insightful.